Day 0. So I hugged him and kissed him, told him I love him and that I'd miss him. And then I sent him off to war.
Hi there, I'm Robin Meade. Status updates, shared photos, tweets, and Facebook messages. That's the way that so many of us talk to each other today. But when you really stop and look at what's being shared, you're likely to see powerful stories of courage unfolding before your eyes. Like the story of Rachel Porto, a military wife who had no idea when she started her blog that the words of perfect strangers would help her through her darkest moments.
March 17th, 2010. I will always be a Marine wife. I just need to share some sad news with all of my blog friends. I am being forced to do something that no 23-year-old woman should ever have to do. I am being forced to lay the love of my life, my saving grace, my entire world to rest. I'm Mrs. P, and I'm 23. I am a war widow, but I hate that term. I prefer married to an angel. I'm Rachel Porto, and I write the blog A Little Pink in a World of Camo. I started this blog right after I moved to North Carolina in 2009, after we got married and we found out we were pregnant. August 3rd, 2009. Okay, here goes nothing. This is my blog. This is Lance Corporal Mr. P. Somehow, I put him under my spell, and he vowed to love me forever. I met Jonathan in 2008, and he was like, I'm Johnny. And I'm like, oh, you have a real name. And then he told me his last name, which is Porto. I was like, wait, you're in the military, so your name is Porto John? He got on his knee and proposed to me, and he used the small chain of his dog tags, actually, this right here. And he wrapped this around my ring finger, and I, of course, said yes. This is right after we got engaged, and then there's some wedding pictures, and when we went to Ocean City. He just made life fun, and he made everybody smile, and he just always wanted to have a good time. We had a lot of fun. We found out in May that we were gonna have Ariana, and he left December the same year. December 8th, 2009. Day 0, did that just happen? So I hugged him and kissed him, told him I love him and that I'd miss him. And then I sent him off to war. It was hard, but I'm tough, and I think it helped me better prepare for what I didn't know was coming. I just want you here, now. There's nothing more in the world that I want. This reality sucks and is stupid and I hate it. I want you, Jonathan, so quit f***ing around and come out now. Johnny had been deployed for almost an entire month. January 19th, 2010. I got a phone call from the hubs during labor. He called the hospital and was eventually patched through to me. So he did get to be there in a way. And he was like, oh my God, that's my baby. It was awesome because he was actually there. You know, like maybe I didn't get to hold his hand or yell at him for doing this to me, but I got to talk to him on the phone. March 12th, 2010. I'm still alive. 93 days into this deployment. Can you believe it? I think we had just fallen asleep and my doorbell rang. And I knew what this was gonna be. And so I flipped on the light and I looked out the peephole and I saw the emblem on the chaplain's cover. The light hit it and it was just like shining. It was like blinding. And there's 2 dudes there in their dress uniforms. They asked me if I was Mrs. Rachel Porto, wife of Corporal Jonathan Porto. He just went into it, you know, on behalf of the United States Marine Corps and a grateful nation. We regret to inform you, and I just lost it. And I fell down, and I was screaming, and it wasn't supposed to be us. I mean, I didn't want it to be anyone, obviously, but it just wasn't supposed to be us. Finally, I looked at them and I was like, I've got a kid to take care of. My daughter was laying on the bed. She was looking up and like waving her arms and kicking her legs and smiling and babbling. She never really did that stuff. She was still so little. And it's like, well, I guess we know where her dad is. And I called my mom and she was in Maryland. My mom was like, who's with you? The baby and the men. She's like, what men? I'm like, these men that just ruined my life. I miss him. I need him. I want him here with me. I will forever hold you in my heart, Johnny. I miss you so much it hurts. I will be seeing you again.
I feel like I know you, him, and Ariana.
I may not know you, but I love you.
Rest in peace, fallen hero.
If there's anything I can do for you, I'll be there as fast as I can.
My circle of readers was really great and very supportive. Sometimes you do need a stranger or somebody that doesn't know you to tell you that you can do it. September 29th, 2010. The fear I've been having lately. My fear. I've been fearing lately that I'm going to forget. I couldn't remember what your touch felt like. December 8th, 2010. 365 days since I last saw my husband alive. January 17th, 2011. This past weekend, my little princess turned 1. August 26th, 2012. Rachel Porto had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. I've started writing for a new magazine and we've semi-launched. Maybe there's people who walk right down the steps of grief and then they're like free of it, but that's not how it's worked for me. It's not how it's worked for a lot of people I know.
Can you please say your prayers with me tonight?
She said, I wish my daddy could come back to us, and I lost it.
We missed it, and it was the last star for you to find.
It's really hard to articulate sacrifice to a 4-year-old who wants her dad here, but you gotta find your joy and your reason and keep pushing through. I am the mommy of a beautiful baby girl who is growing so fast these days. I'm striving to keep my head up and move forward in the face of tragedy. I miss my husband every day, but my goal in life is to live to make him proud and one day see him again.
And Ariana turned 4 this year. She's doing great, but look at this recent post about a pretend phone call Ariana acted out. Hi, it's Daddy from heaven. It's good to hear from you. How are you? I'm good. It's very nice up here. You can find Rachel's blog at A Little Pink in a World of Camo. Up next.
Hey, baby. Miss you bunches. Love you.
Only 28 more days.
You see something happen to somebody and you say, I don't think I can handle that. But when it's you, you realize, maybe I'm stronger than I thought I was.
And
I saw these brass shiny buttons glistening.
How did an 80-year-old military jacket end up on a beach in New Jersey?
I think it came from the sea. I don't know.
A Facebook mystery that we need your help with ahead. You know, being a military family is hard enough. Who can imagine? But when both parents are in the military, Facebook can be such a lifeline. So when April and Nelson Trent found themselves both deployed to a war zone, the post from the children changed everything. An example of the power of words online.
Hey, baby. Miss you bunches. Love you.
I miss you too, more than you'll ever know. I love you.
Hey, sugar.
Can't wait for you to come back home. Only 28 more days.
See you soon.
Almost time to head to the airport to pick up my babe. Can't wait to see him.
You know, you haven't seen your family in months. It's like opening a box and you're so excited and you don't know what to expect. Nelson was like a kid on Christmas. It's like you've waited forever to see that one person and the moment's finally there. We weren't a normal military family. We were both in the military. It's a hard life. Being a normal military wife is a hard life, and being a soldier at the same time makes it even harder.
Such a clown you are, aren't you?
We knew going into it when there was talk of deployments and both of us deploying, we knew that the kids were going to go to my mother. I called my mom and I said, get ready for the kids. And she said, you're going.
Last date night for a year with my beautiful wife.
The next morning, I dropped them off with my mom and reported to my unit to go to Afghanistan.
I was holding Cameron, and Cameron was realizing really for the first time that Mom was going to be leaving.
To have my kids there and for them to hug me and say, we're proud of you, Mommy, we love you, we'll see you when you get home, that makes a world of difference.
This was the day that we took Nelson to catch his plane. They never, ever cried. But they stood there, they hugged him, and they loved on him, and they watched his airplane go until it was gone.
My strong little boy with his arm around Cameron, saying everything's gonna be all right.
Combat patch. You have no idea what it's like to find yourself 7,000 miles away in some dirty country.
Nelson was a soldier. So many people looked up to him, and he knew that it was his duty to do whatever was asked of him.
I would gladly give up my combat patch if I knew it would remove all the pain and visions I've had every day of my life.
Well, I remember this day.
My commander came, banging on the door. We regret to inform you that your husband, Staff Sergeant Nelson Trent, has been killed in action. I don't remember anything he said after that.
Time stopped. Time stopped for me. She told me that a suicide bomber had hit his car, had hit his vehicle.
She said, "How do I tell the kids?" I said, "I don't know."
Everyone, please keep our family in your prayers. We have received some bad news.
It was such an honor and privilege to escort Nelson home.
You know, they say that when you die, 1,000 things go through your mind. Well, a little bit of me died that day because I could almost see every minute that Nelson had been in my life.
It was hard to watch, knowing that my guy was in there. I had Cameron to my left, and then David, and the flag was so big. When the general handed it to her, I had to reach out and help her hold it.
I knew she would go back from the very beginning. April and Nelson's entire lives were wrapped in the military.
When I made the decision to go back, it wasn't just the soldier in me making the decision, it was the mother in me too.
It smells like it.
I remember saying, "Are you sure?" She said, "Nelson would want me to." She said, because Nelson was a soldier and he would finish the mission.
I didn't want the kids to see me, when times got hard, you quit. You know, I needed them to see the strong side that could go through anything.
My heart was broken tonight when Cameron climbed into my lap. She and David do very well in the day, but it's at night that they miss their dad. Tonight, as he does every night, he asks God to wrap his loving arms around his mama and bring her home safe. But asks me why God didn't answer his prayers for his daddy. What do you say? I told David that God needed his daddy in heaven to help with all of the children from Sandy Hook Elementary. He said, "I need him too." I have no answer for that. As the tears flow down my face and I grieve for Nelson Trent,
I grieve more for his children and his wife. Knowing that he won't be here to watch his son learn how to hunt and fish. Knowing that one day Cameron will walk down the aisle and her daddy won't be there to give her away or scare her dates. It was at this point that the mother in me took over, and I said, "You guys can do this in Afghanistan without me. My kids need me more."
Happy Valentine's Day! What are you doing? The present.
Here comes April, and it was just like, this can't be real. It was truly better than the day she was born.
Hi, sweet girl. Hi, Mom.
You see something happen to somebody and you say, "I don't think I can handle that." But when it's you in that situation, you realize, maybe I can do this. Maybe I'm stronger than I thought I was.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday
So the really cute video of the kids wishing their dad happy birthday is posted on a memorial page now dedicated to Nelson Trent. April asked Facebook to keep that personal page up as well, and she still continues to go there to remember her husband. When we return,
I found this West Point military coat that washed up on the beach today.
The stormy sea returns a war hero's jacket, but Facebook finds his widow.
It's a lovely mystery.
Picture this, an 80-year-old military jacket washes up on the shore after Hurricane Sandy. Where did it come from? Who did it belong to? Well, thanks to Facebook, part of that mystery is solved, but there's still one piece of the puzzle you may be able to help with.
The storm surge has really hit hard already from Sandy.
I come out that day after the storm to clean up and assess the damage. I'm a member of the Sandy Hook Bay Catamaran Club here. There had been so much of the beach that had been washed away. And then I noticed that the damage to the buildings on the property here, I was starting to get choked up, and I didn't want anyone to see me, so I decided that I would go to clean up the beach. I could see all kind of debris, backpacks, parts of decks, and a pile over here. I saw a piece of jacket sticking out. I saw these brass shiny buttons glistening. It was wet, it was full of sand. I couldn't even lift it. I had to actually drag it along the beach, and I could see inside there was a label, and that label said West Point issued to DeGarve.
I found this West Point military coat that washed up on the beach today. The name inside the coat said DeGarve. I looked up the name, and apparently Chester DeGarve was a general in the Korean War. I wonder how it got in Sandy Hook Bay.
And I decided that if I couldn't find the family, that it would certainly go to the West Point Museum.
Someone has contacted us about this full dress coat that originally belonged to Chester B. DeGarve, class of 33. We hope to find its rightful owner. Please let us know if you can help solve the mystery.
It takes a licking, keeps on ticking.
Full dress can survive anything.
Wow, that's amazing. Hope they find his family.
I found her. I found his wife, and she is extraordinary.
I saw the West Point post, and the entire family, just everybody was just so shocked. Hi, Donna. I just wanted to thank you personally for finding and turning the jacket in. My grandmother, Tita, who is now 98, is so happy.
I was so happy to hear that General DeGarve's wife was still alive.
Hi, Cameron. I'm so glad to be in contact with you. I will be sending it to West Point. Wait until you see the jacket. It is magnificent.
I can't tell you how much this has lifted Tita's spirits. Better than a message in a bottle.
Big day tomorrow. Meeting the DeGarve family in Virginia. The West Point jacket has been cleaned and is now ready for me to give to General Chester DeGarve's 98-year-old wife, Tita DeGarve.
Oh, I was astonished. I just couldn't believe it because it was in perfect condition. I remember opening it. It looked so new and the buttons were so shiny. Someone must have kept it very carefully for many years.
As World War II began, my dad joined the 82nd Airborne Division, earned a Silver Star in the Korean War. It's the second highest award you can get for heroism.
He was funny to start with. I like men who are funny. And he was very outgoing. There's never anyone he met who wasn't an immediate friend.
The West Point yearbook described his heart was like a stormy sea, and, the storm was what brought this jacket back to my grandmother.
How did it end up on this beach in Sandy Hook?
I don't think it'll ever be solved.
I think it came from the sea. I don't know. I'm very romantic about the symbolism of the jacket. In Chet's generation, men would give their jacket to their love for warmth and protection. I can't thank you enough for going to the effort of returning it to her. You are an angel.
It's a lovely mystery.
What a great story. But now this is the part where you come in. Where could that jacket have been all this time? If you think you possibly have information to help, go to our Facebook page, leave a comment, and maybe together we can solve that part of the mystery. I'm Robin Meade. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to our troops.